Cool. Thanks, Vaibhav. Thanks for agreeing to do this, and sorry to catch you off guard. Vaibhav leads marketing for Cashfree.
In terms of my journey, I think I've had like overall about 15 years of experience. I think I started as a software engineer like everybody else who was starting in 2007, and but I wanted to yeah, I mean, I was there with Infosys for about three and a half years, and I wanted to try my stint at entrepreneurship, and that's where I actually started a microfinance firm with a friend of mine. And but then I realized that I wanted to invest. It's rather more prudent that I invest into formal business education, and that's where I decided to do my MBA. And after that, I was pretty clear that I did not want to go back to software engineering, and I wanted to, I fell in love with marketing, and I joined a company called Photon Interactive, where I was, I made a pitch to the founders there that the company really needs attention on marketing, and that's where there was an office of CEO that was formed, and I was asked to revamp the overall marketing, and that's how pretty much my marketing journey started. Spent about 2 years there, validated a lot of thinking, did a lot of experiments, had an extremely fast learning curve there, and around that time, Cognizant was looking for to set up their marketing agency / digital advisory business, and that's where there was good synergy. And when I joined Cognizant, I got an opportunity to work for a lot of international as well as national businesses and helping them solve their digital marketing problems, both at the strategic level at the same time in the execution level. After that I joined Max Group, and I was helping Max Group build digital marketing from a group perspective. And around this time, for some reason, a completely different industry, real estate, an opportunity came from DLF, where the ask was to actually set up marketing from the ground up. And I thought that was a very good, challenging role. And I spent about 2 years there. And around that time, the country was going through a fintech revolution. I got caught up into it and couldn't be more happy that I did. It's been phenomenal learning for the last 2.5, about 2 years. And I think what's important is that because I've got this opportunity, which was also slightly conscious to, work in different industries, it gives you that, it kind of forces your hand to be, more agile and thinking, learning, taking the learnings from one industry to other industry, and sort of working towards understanding customer, because that's the core of marketing, right? So the moment you move from industry to industry, you have to again reinvent yourself and understand what works in this TG, and then you have inspirations from other TG, so your learnings kind of get amplified when you join a new industry. So I think that's been a good aspect of my journey, that I've got a chance to work for various kind of businesses, from BFSI to real estate to now fintech, and that sort of helped me stay relevant, if I could say that. I don't think there is any doubt that the level of innovation and the speed of innovation that is happening at startup is far, far, far beyond a large enterprise, which is slightly more traditional in the ways, etc. Right? And you could look at decision making. You could look at the KRAs that you are chasing are absolutely very, very, very different when you are working at an enterprise, or when you are a startup, especially at a growth stage of a startup, because startup by definition means exponential growth, right? So for that, you will be doing growth hacking, irrespective of which part of marketing org you are working in. You will definitely be investing in experimenting, trying to prove hypotheses, and then optimizing them, either you can decide that this is an experiment that we run and it did not work, and that's absolutely okay. In enterprises, the cost of experimentation is fairly larger than at startups.
Right.
So that's I think and I think every marketer should definitely work at a startup because
Right.
the speed at which you are making decisions and optimizing and solving for your customer is phenomenal. Digital first marketer. That's how my career started, and then it became into an overall marketer who understands all the channels. But being a digital marketer, you cannot shy away from the fact that how important is content, right? So I mean, we've in fact when I was in the consulting role, that time we had actually helped a lot of customers figure this out. In fact, there was an assignment where we were figuring out, somebody who's trying to enter China, and Baidu was a lot bigger than Google in China. So what are the right content strategies for that organization? So I definitely understand that content definitely plays a lot bigger role than most marketers anticipate. And a significant part of our resource investments, both in terms of bandwidth and in terms of the kind of resources you are building your team from, is towards content, and content plays a very significant role. I think it's a very important and relevant question. Founders, a lot of marketers also go through this question. Uh, so there are, of course, depending upon what stage your organization is today, the role that brand is going to play will vary. There are two variables: what stage your company is in, or what industry do you operate in, right? But fundamentally, the reason you want to build a brand or you want to demand generation are twofold. That demand generation is a short-term realization of what you're wanting to achieve. It could be relevant for your next round of investments, or it could be relevant for your top line growth every year. And building a brand is your long-term solution for your business. And the good news is that you don't only have to solve for long-term. When you build brand, you also solve for short-term as well as for long-term, right? So now, in the market that you operate in, if purely by demand acquisition, your growth will be predictable by a certain number, but it will sort of reach to an extent where the next incremental growth will come at a delta higher cost than the previous, right? But if you have sustainable brand, brand focused approach, then you're solving for the demand that is not today, right? But you're creating that demand, and then you're also catering to that demand,
Right.
longer term, right?
Right.
And there are tons of reports, and I don't want to quote numbers. There are tons of reports where especially in a B2B setup, where I think there was a report by LinkedIn which said that about 70, no, but actually 90% of B2B decision makers are not making a decision when they interact with the brand, right? But because so there is an intrinsic demand, but they're not solving for it right now. So only 10% of the audience is actually out in the market and trying to find a solution which solves their problems, right? But the 90% of them are still going to be thinking about 4 brands or 3 brands or 2 brands or 1 brand when they shift to that 10%. So who should you solve for, 10% or the 90%? Primarily because when you are thinking of growing exponentially, you will have to focus on most aspects of marketing. We look at marketing from 3 fronts. One is the brand marketing, which is where you see initiatives like Shark Tank or outreach to startups happen. Then we also have a strong product marketing function where the marketing team works with product and other departments like sales and operations, etc., to build a very strong product market fit and build right GTM so that you can go and sell these products to the right TTM at the right time. And then there is a digital marketing function which includes your SEO, it includes your content, which includes your performance, and all these three teams work hand in hand to and they have the ability to continue to create compelling campaigns which meet respective business goals. The business goals could be from a brand perspective, could be from a product perspective, could be from a product launch perspective, could be from a retention perspective, could be from the acquisition perspective, and so on.
Right.
So I don't think it will be fair to say that as a marketer you have to prioritize one over the other, because this machinery has to work in the most optimized way throughout the year. I think as marketers, you have to be very curious. If you're complacent that this is what tool says, this is what it means, and you're not questioning it, or this is what a film should be, and what are the other ways to solve for it. If this is how I can write X about, I can write about something in a certain way. It cannot be further optimized both in terms of business objective or the number of objective that you're chasing. I think that's the trap that we fall in. That because a certain brand has done it this way, this is the only way. So I think that is one aspect that marketers and budding marketers should do. So I know I'm not answering what they should not do, but that would rather be that don't be complacent, question everything, get into details, and which is what I think. If you have that in your DNA, I think nobody can stop you to be a good marketer. At least that's what I try to practice even today.